Whether it's the Superman clone that was developed from a single human cell and altered to give the abilities that copy the Kryptonian in powers and appearance, or the later retcon version that is a human Kryptonian hybrid clone, Connor Kent, aka Superboy, quickly became much more than a member of a quartet risen to replace a fallen Superman. In the aftermath of the Death of Superman storyline that ran from December 1992 through October 1993, Metropolis and Earth were left mourning their hero Superman after his battle with the monster Doomsday sent both combatants seemingly to their eternal rests. A funeral, a burial, and billions of goodbyes as people everywhere wondered who would protect them now. Cue the quartet. Enter the trials of the new saviors. Begin the reign of the Supermen. A man of steel, simply referred to as Steel. No. A man of tomorrow, or a cyborg Superman, and a last son of Krypton, or the Eradicator, all arrived on the scene, as well as a teenager. But no ordinary teenager. This one looked strikingly like he could be a teenage version of Superman, exhibiting similar powers, strength, speed. He had the look, he had the abilities, he just didn't have the age. Probably why he may have originally identified himself as Superman, only to easily accept a more accurate moniker of Superboy. After the return of the true Clark Kent, aka Superman, aka Kal-El, Superboy is embraced and welcomed with open arms into the family, ultimately learning more about his Kryptonian heritage and given the Kryptonian name of KON-EL, directly from Kal-El's family heritage, just like Kal-El isn't commonly used name, nor would be KON-EL. Enter Connor Kent. Both of these names have withstood the test of time and retcons. Superboy was later changed to be a human Kryptonian hybrid of Kal-El's Kryptonian DNA and of Superman's greatest foe, Lex Luthor, providing the other half of the equation. Needless to say, having the influence of Lex Luthor anywhere near a potentially impressionable teenager trying to find his way in a world he shares half lineage to, never a good thing. Heck, it's never a good thing, period. Just ask the Titans. Despite any negative influences, Connor Kent, aka KON-EL, aka Superboy, is a force for good. An individual very much deserving of the S emblazoned across his chest, and thanks to the team at McFarlane Toys, collectors and fans get a great opportunity to add a new representation of the character to their shelves. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collects. In this episode, we are taking a closer look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse KON-EL Superboy. Hey everyone, welcome back, and here we have it, the in-package 360 view of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse KON-EL Superboy. So thrilled to have this figure finally produced, right? Big fan of the Death of Superman line and the reign of the Supermen, so let's take it around here to the back, and we can see that artist representation, the classic KON-EL / Connor Kent, wearing his leather jacket, got the hoop earrings, could not be more 90s, and it is fantastic. I just love seeing that, right? They didn't really go with anything that updates it, makes it anything new. This is the classic 90s version. And let's flip it over around here to this side, and we can see just that typical label, KON-EL, and then in the smaller font, Superboy, that typical DC Multiverse side panel. But let's check out the other side panel. We can see that little bit of an opening, the side view of KON-EL himself. We've got that new sticker that started to show up recently on the McFarlane Toys packages. Let's go around to the front here and see that presentation. First and foremost, let's do a quick blow up and see what comes in the package with old KON-EL. And there we have him with his stand and with his card and then the figure itself. But let's bring it back into the package and look at that presentation, right? But this isn't what we came here to take a look at. We came here to take a closer look at the figure itself. So without further ado, let's bust into this one. And there he is. There is KON-EL / Connor Kent himself, aka Superboy. Let's take a closer look at this figure. Big fan of this one. Big fan of anything Superman, of course. But let's start with the head sculpt, right? So very interesting because he's supposed to be a teenager, but I can't say that this face really screams teenager. I'm going to say like late 20s, maybe early 30s. That's what I'm getting here. I wonder if it's the stubble. But regardless, the sculpt of it is very nice. I got to say, when I was looking at the pictures online, the way that the jaw is sculpted, it kind of looked like he had a smaller jaw, and his neck it all just kind of blurred together. But as you can see, that is not the case in the real figure. Once you have it in hand, it definitely looks a lot better, and a little bit of stubble also the hair on the back. But I digress. The eyes painted very well. The eyebrows, everything is very cleanly done. And I appreciate the sculpting on his hair, right? They kept that 90s undercut style that we had, right? And they did a great job of just painting what looks like very shortcut buzzed hair underneath the hair here on the top. And even the sculpting of that hair is very well done, right? And it's in that jet black color that we're used to. And then the mobility of the head, right? So it is separate from the neck, but the neck is part of the torso. So I am happy to see that we're getting a lot more like this from McFarlane Toys, because that gives a lot more freedom of movement. Side to side is very good. Up and down, also not bad. Even with the jacket collar kind of potentially getting in the way, he still does look up and down very well. Most importantly, though, for this channel, does he do? Oh, yes, he definitely does. The full Exorcist rotation. Happy to see that. Now, the jacket, very cool, right? It's like a rubbery plastic overlay. We'll look at that real quick as we transition over to the shoulders, but I do want to draw some attention to that. Look at that massive S emblazoned on the jacket back there. And with it being that kind of shiny, rubbery plastic, it does give that impression of looking like it is leather, and you can't miss the spikes coming down the shoulders, right? What a cool dude. And then here on the sleeve, we've got that S that's just painted on there, right? Barely a clean S, but looks very cool. And then here with the shoulders, kind of tough to tell. Doesn't seem like we have a butterfly joint, but I can't really see in there because the jacket is stuck and the visibility through there is not very clear. But regardless, we do have excellent mobility in it, right? It does go back very far. And we have that bicep tricep rotation as well. We have the double elbow, which gives it excellent flexibility right there. And we'll pull that out. And then we have, of course, the wrist rotation slash the typical McFarlane wiggle that we have, right? So depending on how you rotate that joint, you can move the hand in a lot of different ways because it's that dual pin ball joint right there. And then even the hand is sculpted and very, very well done, right? So it's got that open back, fingerless gloves, right? Like the weightlifting style gloves that he wore. And this is sculpted that way, right? So there is a ridge right there where the hand transitions into the glove. So very well done. And then, of course, the other arm has that same flexibility, slightly different hand. This was a little bit more of an open slash neutral hand, where this one is a fist. And that is all that he came with, right? He didn't come with any extra hands or any extra accessories aside from his card or his stand. But then here in the core, right, we do have that mid-torso full range of motion, right? So it moves around, not just stuck in any kind of specific. And then the abdomen, right, it goes all the way up, the sculpting of it, no matter how far back you arch it. And it does arch back pretty far, I must say, even with the jacket potentially getting in the way. And then forward, the crunch, not bad, right? But not too far. As far as I guess we might need him to go for posing. A little disappointed that I have that scuff on the S right there. It did come that way, which is a very big surprise. There's nothing floating around in the package to cause it. Something in the production error, I guess. Waist rotation, we do have that, and the belt helps hide any kind of gap that shows up down there. Here we have, yes, the KON-EL Kryptonian Super Split, right? So we've got that same typical joint that we expect from McFarlane, and nothing getting in the way to block those legs from going into that full split. No upper thigh rotation. We also have no calf rotation, but we do have that double knee that bends and gives excellent flexibility right there. So very good. He's ready to limber up for any battles against any foes, and you gotta love these knee pads, right? And they look like they are sewn in. See the little details on it? Very cool. I like that. But then the boots, no rotation at the top of the boots, but we do have excellent ankle rotation. And that gigantic joint is basically sculpted in to look like it's part of the boot. It blends in very well. But we have that movement. We've got that ankle breaker capability. We've got excellent forward. An amazing back, right? Because he's got all those flight poses he needs to do. And then toe articulation. And of course, the other leg has that same capability. And then the paint apps, I already pointed out that we had a little bit of an issue with the red on the S, right? And this is a raised piece, as we've seen in a lot of the Supermen figures. So the yellow is painted down there, and then this is scuffed, unfortunately. It's like a raised bit of an S. Very cool either way. The belt is painted very cleanly. I like the silver pieces on there for the, I don't know what you would call those, stones, bejeweling, bedazzles. But regardless, we've got these yellow belts, this yellow side thigh holster, all painted very well. It doesn't open, nothing comes in or out of it. but it is painted very cleanly, and I'm happy to see that. The legs are in a cast red plastic, so no real issue there. And then the body, the torso is that blue cast plastic. All in all, excellent figure. Hopefully if you see them on the shelf or you have the opportunity to pick one up, definitely pay attention to make sure you don't have any kind of scuffs like that. But otherwise, that is not enough to deter me and be disappointed about the figure. I think it's fantastic, and it's not just because I'm biased about anything Superman related. I think it's a great figure. I'm very pleased. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Well, that about brings us to the end of this super cool episode. Thank you for taking the time to join us, as always. Now, if we ever do a review of something that you are trying to find for yourself, please follow and DM us on Instagram at JKCollectsToys so we can help with the search if we don't already have a way of getting one. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments and let YouTube know by subscribing and clicking that like button. The more that happens, the more YouTube will recommend us so we can hopefully reach even more collectors and help them find the things that they need. If you'd like to see some more videos, we have some links on your screen right now for you to check out. And remember, collecting or not, we are all in this world together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.